What was the biggest political scandal in your country? A politician accidentally bought a chocolate bar with the government's credit card. How is this a scandal? Did the chocolate bar cost $3 billion? Well, it's not really the full story. There is a Wikipedia article about it. Maybe you can Google translate it or something. https://sv.m.wikipedia.org/wiki/Toblerone. Oh, nothing too big. Just a simple investigation of a car wash being used to launder money that snowballed into the uncovering of a major political plot that still laundered something between $2 and $13 billion. The investigation was adequately named as Operation Car Wash. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/operation_car_wash. Did they take inspiration from Breaking Bad on how to launder money? In Puerto Rico, our governor had a chat with other government officials and some of his close friends where they discussed corruption plans. They admitted to manipulating the press. They made fun of the victims of Hurricane Maria. They made sexist and homophobic comments. And it all got leaked to the public. Everyone was pissed and we formed the biggest protest in our island's history, which forced him to resign. That was a fun summer. That's so uplifting to hear about. Thanks for sharing. My country has been without a government for more than a year, twice. The first time my country has been without a government was for 541 days, a Guinness World Record. At the moment we are without a government for the second time. Our elections were on the 26th of May 2019. So at the moment we are at 479 days without a government. Here's to hoping we achieve a world record for a second time. I live in Belgium BTW. The Queen fired the Prime Minister, who was democratically elected. Australia, 1975. Also, in 1967, another Prime Minister went swimming at a beach and was never seen again. He Queen fired the Prime Minister, who was democratically elected. Australia, 1975. The Governor General fired the Prime Minister. Rumor has it at the behest of the Americans after it became clear that he was willing to stand up to them. Also, in 1967, another Prime Minister went swimming at a beach and was never seen again. We named a swimming pool after him. I'd say that Scotty's little trip to Hawaii while the country was literally on fire at the beginning of the year was a pretty big deal too. Venezuela. I don't think the Reddit servers have the memory space for a reply that does this justice. But still, here's a taste from Reuters, July 2019, Geneva. Venezuelan special forces have carried out thousands of extrajudicial killings in the past 18 months and then manipulated crime scenes to make it look as if the victims had been resisting arrest. The United Nations said on Thursday in a report detailing wide-ranging government abuses targeting political opponents. Special action forces described by witnesses as death squads killed 5,287 people in 2018 and another 1,569 by mid-May of this year, in what are officially termed by the Venezuelan government Operations for the Liberation of the People, United Nations investigators reported. In Greece this list is never ending and I can't even choose any as the biggest one. Politics and corruption is the same thing here. I just read Greece and you already have my sympathy. It's a beautiful country, and I'm sure the people are very nice. Never met a Grecian IRL, but man, your government seems to fuck you in the ass on a daily. Fuck you in the ass on a daily just like the gods. Guess things never change, huh? Isn't that the entire history of Greece? You were called the dawn of Western civilization. Greece invented democracy, republics, philosophy, medicine, ethics and self-sufficient economies, but ironically it was the destruction of ancient Greece and continued to pillage Greece and Europe to this day. Pericles of Athens, aka the father of democracy, knew corruption was a fault line and warned about how easily democracy can be exploited, and his words echo true to this day. After the subprime crisis in the zeros, Portuguese Prime Minister Socrates was charged with white-collar crimes for hustling public funds to finance void contracts in public construction and for changing laws to benefit certain friends and party members. He got jailed and is currently in house arrest. High-profile people of our political environment still visit him on a regular basis. Ever since then, no majority was achieved during votings and the country has since been ruled by party coalitions. The Prime Minister's name was Socrates? Damn, it's like the whole country's running on a theatrical play. Not kidding, he's named like the philosopher. Also, in Portugal we also have this expression that reminds me of him. Filosofo de pica, which translates to dick, cock, philosopher. The Prime Minister and his associates in the Conservative Party took $360,000 in bribes to award one company the right to build the railway to the West Coast. The scandal was uncovered and Sir John A. Macdonald resigned as Prime Minister in disgrace in 1873. Macdonald was elected PM again in 1878 and continued serving in that position until 1891. A previous tale with each of ours, Prime Minister Charlie Haughey in the 1970s-80s illegally bought an island off the coast of Kerry and built a mansion there, lording over it like a Bond supervillain. Didn't Haughey also try to smuggle arms for the IRA too? No, those arms were just resting in his account. At this point, it's probably easier to do a list of things he didn't do. Poland. Technically there is no year without scandal. One of the former prime ministers was accused for being Russian spy in 90s. Leaked recordings which ended governments. Minister of Health bought respirators for COVID patients from arms dealer. Entire scandal with elections. Now the parliament votes for bill which allows politicians avoid punishment for anything if they prove they acted against COVID. Slovakia. A journalist got killed 2 years ago in February. Mafia was involved and it's still not resolved. In my country, Ukraine, every month there are attacks on journalists, activists which will never be investigated. Serious murders usually take place once in 1-2 years. Do you have more frequent non-serious murders? Couple years ago in Chile, journalist found that 1,113 kids living under the tutelage of the state were already dead. Their deaths were not reported, nor investigated. When the news got out, the Minister of Justice, Javiera Blanco, who was in charge of the SENAME, National Service for Minors, was then destituted only to be given a lifetime job in the State Defense Council. This was never talked about again. Never talked about again. JFC, that's so many kids. That's horrible. Our president tried to create a law that would require all churches without paperwork to get owned by the government. Of course, many of the churches in Montenegro were created way before paperwork was needed, when Serbia and Montenegro were the same country. So basically the government would be getting tons of land that isn't even Montenegrin, so massive protests followed. Keep in mind this was all during the COVID lockdown, so massive protests just led to more people getting infected. Also, this caused tons of cultural hate between Montenegrins and Serbs, when in retrospect we're all the same Slavic people. IDK how to explain it very well, since I myself do not understand the situation the best. Exactly what the Balkans needs. More cultural ethnic tensions. Cultural ethnic religious tensions. Go for the trifecta. Millie B and Sophie Aspin had big beef. That shit was a political shitstorm. Not really a scandal. But one day in the 1960s, our prime minister decided to go for a swim. The catch? He went missing and was never found. Fun fact, there is a Harold Holt Memorial Swimming Center in suburban Melbourne. It was already under construction at the time of Holt's disappearance. A 30-plus-year-old politician slept with a 15-year-old girl. It was technically legal, so he suffered no consequences other than people now thinking he's a disgusting piece of crap. UK. It seems that currently everything is a political scandal. They are not even shocking or surprising anymore. South Africa. Our health minister left coronavirus patients to die in tents, and when he got questioned he demanded an apology from the broadcaster. Add to this the rife corruption and how our 500 billion has been stolen. No one is accountable. No one ends up in jail. They get put on suspension for years on full pay while people starve. Let's not get started on the rapes and murders every day. The list goes on and on and on. I weep for you and your lost fellow citizens. Someday fairness will come again to your country. Wait. Last I checked, the biggest SARS scandal was the president being a little rapist. Our Minister of Police is for sure a rapist, but Justice don't do nothing because the Minister of Justice is against feminism, and also because he is a minister. Probably a PM being murdered due to someone disagreeing with a peace plan.